The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
It's so great when you've been away and you just want to get home, isn't it? You know?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Shaun.
I guess you're worried that things have changed when you get home. Have you been robbed?
Is that
Are
what
the
you
gardens
think?
still alive?
Every time
Have
you
you
get home,
swallowed
is
your
that what you
food
think?
yet? Heaps of things.
I always think that. We're going to get rolled.
Do you really?
Yeah,
What do you think when you get home someone's going to murder you?
Yeah, and I'm going to walk into this house. Are there any possessions inside my house?
I tell you what, though, if you want to murder someone in an apartment because we're not expecting it. Because there is, like, security everywhere in place. You know what I mean? Like, murderers aren't in an apartment because they have to get through so many barriers to get into your apartment and then to wait there and murder you.
How would you do it?
If to murder me,
I'm just for other people, not for me.
I've got one of those beds that have the storage underneath, so it's sort of like it's gas lift. And
that's where you leave the body for sure.
I would, the murderer, I would start there because I wouldn't expect to look under there for a murderer. Then I'd come out murder,
Yes.
and then I'd bring my body back and put it under the bed.
So
Well, we're not talking
in the
about
bed. I feel that we've been distracted.
Why? That's a really good insight.
Where would you hide your body?
Anyway, isn't it great getting home?
And alive. It's a whole thing.
This chick in New Zealand, Sophie, she got home and she was perplexed because as she pulls up to a driveway, there's a mystery going about. There's a mystery because she's driving up. She's going, "What is that? Someone's left just a pole in the middle of my driveway."
So they haven't left
It's
it.
standing
They've
up.
inserted it.
No, she didn't know. She didn't know. She goes, "There's a pole there." So she goes, "Okay, well, that's weird. I'm going to get out of my car and I'm going to pull the pole out." No, the pole's been dug in,
It's
cemented
installed.
into the ground.
Yes.
And it's right in the middle of the driveway. So then she's like, wait, this is strange. So she's asked all around the neighbourhood, what's the deal with this pole? Has anyone ordered a basketball hoop? That's honestly
Or a flagpole.
what she thought it was. No one could answer her pole questions. So,
And meanwhile, she can't get into her driveway.
yeah. So she put a note on the pole.
Yeah. Okay.
Saying basically, is this your pole? I did not order this pole.
Did you leave this pole here by mistake?
you come and,
Did she call Pole World
grab
and see if
this
they'd
pole?
been around,
Yeah.
leaving poles around?
So anyway, so it hit the news.
Of course it did.
And
Great
everyone was
stuff.
talking about this pole. And these guys from a fencing company were watching, laughing, going, "Oh, look at this.
that.
This is so funny," until they realised that was their pole.
But they had
pole in
installed
someone's
this
driveway?
pole.
Yeah, they put a pole in someone's driveway. They got the address wrong.
What? So somebody else wanted a pole in the
Someone
middle of
else
their
ordered a driveway pole.
Are they doing performances? What's happening?
So it
Driveway
must have
pole.
been. So what must have happened is they must have been given a block of land, the dimensions where the poles have to go. So when you've been given no pole, so when you've been given that, some people just rock up
follow
and
the
go, "Well, this is the
instructions."
address and this is where we have to go, and that's where the pole has to go."
Without thinking, hang on, this is in right smack bang in the
Yeah.
middle of the driveway.
driveway.
Maybe
Yeah.
we need to double check something.
Anyway, they came, they dug the pole back up, they put asphalt over it, and now it's all been solved. It's
great.
But I'm just wondering, because I've seen these stories over the years, and I'm wondering how often it happens. And we want to speak to tradies right now about if you ever have gotten the wrong address and you've started the job already. So I'm guessing the people aren't home. Yeah?
Well, it happened
yeah.
to me. So the next door, we're getting a tree chopped down, and the guys they were told very specifically what they needed to do. They need to go down the driveway that goes down the side of my building, but it then goes around the back, and you can get into next door, right?
Yes.
And so and there's like a farm style gate is what they were told, and so the boss wasn't with them though. So the boss has sent the guys out to do the job. They've parked in the driveway, and then they've looked at my gate, which is not a farm style gate.
No.
It's like a wooden gate that's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And they went, "Oh, that's a gate. That must be it." They then hopped the fence because the gate was locked and started pulling this tree down. So they pulled all the lights out of it first.
Yep.
They had
That's annoying.
Getting
the lights back up that
Exactly.
tree. Oh.
They had so they pulled them all out and broke them. Like they were no longer usable. And then they started like with the because it's a big tree with the cutting off some of the smaller branches. And then it was my dog, so Max, my old border collie, he was going mental at them. And they were like, "This dog's crazy, And so then they went back out, and the neighbour, she was leaving the house. The neighbour whose house they were supposed to be working at, she was leaving her house. And they said to her, "Oh, can you control your dog, please? We're trying to chop down the tree." And she said, "The dogs are inside on the couch." And they went, No, he's mental. He's going crazy. And she's like, "No." And only because she was home.
Yeah.
Did
or
they
leaving at that moment, were they able to realise they were in the wrong backyard?
So would they? Do you love that tree?
Yes, it's an olive tree that's more than 80 years old. More than 80
good
years
pruning?
old. Tell you what, has dropped a
But
hell
by
of
the
a
way,
lot of...
do you get any compensation for the
No,
lights and stuff?
he came. The owner came back, and they saw me, and they didn't say anything either, which is pretty rude.
So they didn't pay you back for the lights?
He came and bought me like one box of lights, and just went, "Oh, there you go."
No.
Didn't put them up, didn't do anything. Just went, "Oh, there you go. That's sorted then."
This is where you got to get angrier.
I know. I'm too nice. I'm way too nice.
Yeah, you're so nice. Everyone says it. Let us know, tradies, if you have rocked up to the wrong place and not realised and already started work, or if this has happened to you at your place. Someone is going to get $150 to spend at Autobahn Mechanical.
Beautiful.
Autobahn Mechanical, putting the service back into service centres. Google Autobahn today.
All right, tradies, did you get the address wrong?
Hello, Jared.
Hey guys, how you going?
Hey,
Jared.
wonderful,
So,
Jared.
Jared, what trade are we in?
Painting, commercial painting.
Oh, okay. Talk to us. What happened?
So about 15 years ago, rock up to a commercial property, start painting the outside of the building. A big two-storey thing, boom lifts, scissor lifts, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
And anyway, so about a day or so into the job, old guy rocks off and goes, excuse me, what are you guys doing? I'm just painting the building, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I think you made a mistake. This is my building and I didn't engage you.
Oh.
So turns out we were painting the wrong building.
Yes.
So, the building we were meant to paint was across the road.
But once you've half painted a building, you have to finish it, right?
A whole building, yeah. So, we had to finish his building, and then we had to go and paint this building that we were meant to. So, yeah, we were close.
Close.
I know, Jared, do you reckon the people that lived over the road were going, well, why didn't our painters turn up?
Pretty much, yeah. I know. It's insane.
And he got a free paint job.
Jared, where did the numbers
He
go
got a
wrong?
free
Because
painting.
it's different numbers by a mile. So what happened?
They would be, but the boss at the time was with us, which probably makes the whole job worse. We were going, I don't think this is the building we're meant to be painting. I think we're across the road. No. This is the building. Okay. Start painting the building, and then, it turns out we were right, the boss was wrong.
Okay,
You needed somebody there to say, turn around. Thanks, Jared.
Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, John.
Good, John.
What trade are we talking about, John?
I'm a landscaper. I actually run a supervisor for a commercial landscape company.
Yes. Okay, what happened?
Yeah, and so what happened, like before we went commercial, I was doing domestic houses, and my boss sent us out to go do this big hedge job. And
Sean loves those.
Yeah.
Surely the better, I say.
I was actually waiting for that.
Well, you got it, John.
So tell us about your big head job.
Yeah, so we're rocked up. I rang the doorbell on the gate. A nice lady come out, and we're like, "Oh, we're here to do your hedge job." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I really need my hedges done." And I'm like, "Okay, no worries." So grabbed all the ladders off, all the equipment. It took us over half a day to get this job done because it was massive.
Yeah.
It's like a couple of $1,000 bill.
Yeah.
Next minute, I've knocked off. We've left. The lady's happy. The next door neighbour's looking at me weird, like, I swear I was supposed to have a gardener here type look.
Yes.
And so I've gone back to work and my boss has rang me. He's like, hey, did you go do that job for the real estate agent we work for? And I'm like, yeah, we just finished it. I'm on my way back to the workshop. He goes, well, he just rang me. He said, he saw you next door.
Why didn't he say anything?
I know.
I don't know. But the best thing about it, the lady we did the job for, we end up picking up her gardens for the next, few months.
Well, that's a good outcome.
So it was a win-win situation in the end, but it was a major stuffer.
I mean, it's weird that she didn't ask how much is this going to cost. You know, the outset. You know what I mean? You would think you'd have that
How many
conversation.
times have I been at home and then like a landscaping team have dropped by and offered to do my services for free? Of course.
Well, I was in Dalkeith, so...
Oh, okay. Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Landscaping service. Yeah, perfect.
They just turn up and start working. It's beautiful.
Okay, so we've had a house painted, we've had a yard landscaped. What else has been done by mistake because you were given the wrong address as a tradie?
$150 to spend at Autobahn Mechanical is up for grabs. Couple of crackers to begin with. Let's get more.
Zach's in Leaderville. Hey, Zach.
Hi, how you going?
Good, Zach.
Wonderful, Zach.
You're a tradie, Zach?
I'm a tradie, but also a builder.
Yes.
So nice.
Yeah, builder developer, and it's pretty hard to believe this story unless it actually came from this source. So, builder developer, have houses that we knock down. We've often had, random people living there. People leave their stuff there. So this is not unusual. A mate of mine rings me and goes, "Oh, you got a dishwasher in your knockdown?" I'm like, "Oh, actually, I do. I got a Miele dishwasher at 71, whatever the street address is."
Yeah.
So, yep, cool. No worries.
Miele, by the way.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I know. It's off the Plaza. Anyway, he gets there and he goes, "Oh, it's not a Miele, it's a Fisher and Pacquola." I said, "Oh, Simon, don't worry about it. If you want it, you take it. I don't really care."
God, Simon's really
sorry,
picky,
mate.
isn't he?
So anyway, so about 2 hours later, he rings me back and goes, "Mate, bloody dishwasher doesn't even work." And I'm like, "Oh, come on, mate. I don't care. You know, like, I don't care." Anyway, didn't think anything of it. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in his house. I'm like, "Oh, mate, got all these Niagara Panthers out the back. They look amazing. Where'd you get them from?" He goes, "I got them down from your knockdown." I'm like, "Mate, what house number did you go to?" He goes, "I went to 72. I said, "I own 74. And
He knocked down the wrong house.
No, he didn't knock down the wrong
God,
house.
he just pilfered. He just
Walked in the back
pilfered.
door.
Yeah.
He's grabbed the dishwasher. He's walked out. He's taken the plant. He's taken the dishwasher home. He's realised it hasn't worked. But even better than this, because the job was in Scarborough, he's gone down the rear lane and chucked the dishwasher back over the back fence and pissed off.
So this person's gotten home, their dishwasher's been moved and thrown over a fence, and their flowers are gone.
Correct.
Did you own up to them? Did you tell them what happened?
Nah.
Well, okay, so these were two pretty old, shitty houses next door to each other.
Yeah.
I'd had a set of backpackers in mine. Dad had a set of backpackers in there.
Yeah.
Like, different people, different developers, whatever. And I went to try and tell them or whatever, but they were never home. And, like...
Oh, well.
They're backpacking.
Oh, well. You tried.
I tried, and then about 6 months later, that got knocked down.
Oh, okay.
They were
Amazing.
never home.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? Thanks, Zach.
Zach, that was
hilarious.
a real journey.
I know, wasn't it
I
just?
loved being on it.
Guys in Spearwood. Morning, Guy.
Good morning, how are you?
Hey,
Oh,
Guy.
Are you the tradie involved, Guy?
No, I'm not. It was actually my cousin. He started as a supervisor for a building company, won't say name, and he employed a new concreter to start laying the slabs for the house.
Yeah.
And it was his first week, and it was the concreter's first job. Long story short, there was two vacant lands side by side, and they've actually poured the house slab on the next door neighbour's land, which is another builder, which was starting in about a month's time. And he got to the job a couple of days later and goes, "What the bloody hell is going on here? You haven't been here." He goes, "No, I have." He goes, "It's done." And then he goes, "Well, you poured the wrong land." So, long story short, they've had to rip out the whole slab, and it cost between $20,000 and $40,000.
Oh, God.
Don't you just wish you could get a guy on each corner and just lift it up and move it?
It would have been easier.
Yeah. That's insane.
Oh,
Needless
God.
to say, the concreter no longer works for my cousin, and he's left the country.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Jeez.
That's
Just
too
once
funny.
you're doing that pad, you've got the plumbing around.
Yeah. Oh,
Bloody
yeah.
hell, mate.
That's all you're concerned about, the plumbing.
Oh, wow. Sure. A lot to it.
Sean's
As
really
you
felt that
know,
one.
Sean's a builder.
Thank you. I've only been in the game for 25 years. $150 to spend
You
on
haven't.
Autobahn Mechanical. I listened to their stories. Zach, the dishwasher story.
It's got to be
Get that
Zach,
into you,
doesn't
mate.
it?
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
So Wednesday nights, I think we could rename it to Celia Pacquola night.
That'd be
because
great.
Until last week, we could see her on Utopia. And from tonight at 7:30 on Channel 10, she is the host of version 2.0 of Thank God You're Here. Celia, hello.
Hi, sorry about that. It's
I know,
of
that's a
my
lot of
face, isn't it?
Celia.
No, it's
Celia.
okay.
No,
We're so
it
hard.
used to be. I mean, I don't know what's better, Celia Pacquola Day or Hump Day. You know what I mean? This is the Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, we enjoyed you on Rosehaven on Wednesday nights too.
And
course,
still,
of course.
hold some resentment towards you for finishing that.
Yeah.
I just felt
I
like
know,
it
I'm
had
so sorry about that.
many more years left in it.
There's
I
only
feel like-
so many years
No.
that you can work with a notorious jerk like Luke McGregor,
Sure.
you know? And then after a while, you're just like, I cannot look at his
He's a
stupid
monster.
face for a second.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And especially when he got all confident when he got his new teeth. It's like, shut up, Luke.
And a wife.
He looks amazing.
He looks
Oh, my
amazing,
gosh.
but it's, you know.
So on Utopia, because the first season, that's where Luke and I became friends and became up with Rosehaven. And then coming back to do season 5, I'm like, oh gosh, I've aged. Just looking back at that first season, like, we're just such babies. But Luke McGregor, that absolute jerk, he's the only one who looks better.
Yeah, he's had a glow
he
up.
looks amazing now. He's had an absolute glow up. His hair, he's married, he's a stepdad, he's absolutely crushing it.
Guys, doesn't that make you sick when you see someone you haven't seen for a while and they look amazing, and then you look at yourself and you look like someone that lives under a bridge?
Oh, every time when we look, because we're up early in the morning, you get worse and worse as the week goes on, and, and the weeks go on.
Celia, the worst is when doing radio, and we know you've done some radio here and there. So when you're doing radio, and then we're just doing our show, and then say Sonia Kruger comes in, and she's had 6 hours in the makeup chair.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm just still outraged that they've decided to film radio these days. What's that about?
I know.
One refuge.
I know.
To not have bloody HD cameras pointed at you, but no, there's nowhere to hide anymore. We're all just look. Yeah, it's where I try and go now. I go, my face is it's someone else's problem. I'm not the one who has to look at it. You do. So don't worry. To be you guys.
We have the room pretty dimly lit at most of the case.
Just one candle.
Yeah. Anyway, Celia, we thank God you're here. Obviously, Shane Bourne used to do it. We used to watch it then. I always think, so the people who are going on, and we've got a lot of comedians who get involved in this, do they know anything at all? Is there any hints? Because...
their costume, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
I can confirm they know absolutely nothing. So they might get a hint from their costume, but they're put in their costume as, 5 minutes before they go through the door.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. The level of secrecy is insane. There's whole teams whose job it is to keep people away from seeing anything. They're in umbrellas. Everyone's under coats. Everyone is they're not even allowed to see what anyone else is doing. A lot of showbiz stuff is fake, but this is completely real because it wouldn't work otherwise. You could tell. It wouldn't be a good show if they knew what was coming up. It's not even about being a good improviser. It's about dropping people in a world that's out of their comfort zone and watching them have to bluff their way through and make it up as they go along.
Now,
they have no idea.
Improvising is about saying yes, isn't it? It's all about accepting what's coming.
Going with what other people are offering as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the idea. But for this show, some people don't do that. If you remember the old version, some people just totally went, there's an audience there, and then the ensemble just have to go with it. There's no rules. Some people play by the rules of improviser, and some people go, try and leave. Some of them try and escape. I find that really
that's pretty funny.
I would.
Just walk out again.
Oh my God. No, in the wrong place.
Some of them destroy the set. Some of them really try and pull it apart, and or some of them start fights with other improvisers. You just never know what you're going to get. But, yes and is the idea. But,
it's the golden rule. But
so there are radio shows that do this sort of thing, Celia, where their guests are coming in, the Prime Minister or whatever, and the next minute they're rapping and they didn't want to. We're not that show. We're not that show.
Oh, yeah. Good.
We've never done that. But I know that you're very good friends with Felicity Ward, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So Felicity came in here one time, and just for some reason, we had a duck here.
We were supposed to be giving it to a football player who'd been accused of ducking, and we thought that'd be hilarious. But the duck got stuck in traffic.
So what happened is, by the time Felicity got here, we had a duck, and we had no reason to use a duck, so we just handed her a duck as soon as she walked in, and she just sat there with a duck while she did the interview, and we didn't even refer to it.
We didn't explain it.
Oh my gosh! I would watch that spin-off version. Thank God you're here. Here's a duck.
Yes.
Don't you reckon? A serious interview show where the person walks in and they're handed something and they have to hold it for the entire interview.
Doesn't always have to be a duck. Could be a guinea pig.
I did an interview show where the woman, she's a comedian, Emma, works at the zoo, in the Sydney Zoo, and that was the gimmick. She's like, I'll interview you whilst you hold an animal of your choice. And I'm like, absolutely. So I held a numbat or something. You could get anyone on this show. Brad Pitt's not turning down holding a koala during an interview. This is a great idea. But also, Felicity Ward, so I saw her, I sat in the audience and watched her do Thank God You're Here. She does it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But she was excellent at going through the door. Absolutely terrified, but crushed it every time. The first time she went through the door, she was a mob boss's wife. Walked in and there were police there going, Mrs. Galliano, can you explain why your husband has got all these drugs buried in the backyard? And she was really good.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Did you ever do it? Have you ever done any improv?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm a real scripted. And as I say, because the show finished, that was when I was just starting stand-up.
Yeah.
Back in the day. If maybe they'd done one more season, maybe I would have. But now it's passed me by and I'm very happy with my role.
Yeah. Good gig being the host.
Side of the door.
Yeah. The first time I seen improv was in where was I again?
I don't know. You're telling the story,
Well,
mate.
no. I was going
None of us were there, so.
It was in Europe, and I couldn't believe. I must have had an absolute blinder. But to see the craft on these people just thrown in this, and
It's a real talent to be able to do it.
And what they did also is they threw it out to the audience, just to write a line and just hand it in. They just picked it out of a hat, and then they acted out straight away. Brilliant.
Well, I was also a big fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is a very different show to this, but that is like the peak of the standard of improv on that show. It was always phenomenal. Colin Mockery, my personal favourite. I don't know if you ever saw that show, but yeah, if it's done well, it is absolutely spectacular.
And you always
Having
think
said that, if it's not, bad improv is poor.
But it's funny to watch.
It's a slog.
Yeah,
But you do need the audience on your side as well, because there are some improv shows where they say yell out something. So yell out a scene. You go, you're at the beach, and then they go, yell out a person you're with, and someone goes, Joseph Fritzl.
Right.
And you're like, oh no, we're not doing that one. Okay, then Hitler.
No, that's the thing about it, isn't it? It's just being comfortable when you're out of control. I just think it's a fascinating human experience for us to watch as the audience, you know?
You're a fascinating
and doing that purely with comedy performers is why it's fun. You know, I don't know that this show would be as entertaining if they were all dentists. So we just dropped it.
No, dentists are hilarious.
Or you get Andrew Bolt on.
Wow, oh, jeez. Please. I can think of a few scenarios I would like to put him in. But
Piers Morgan next week. Celia, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank God you're here.
Thank you. Hope you like the show.
I know it's back tonight, hosted by Celia, 7:30 on Channel 10 and 10 Play, of course. Thanks, Celia.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Here in WA, we speak about a few things regularly. That is what's washed up on the beach and we're excited about these days.
Yes.
AKA some space junk.
Sure. Now Celia came aboard.
Another thing is getting your hands off our GST.
Yep.
And another thing is the shark attacks.
Yeah.
They're a bit frequent.
They
You're
are.
liking
As we
that.
know, worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah, so we saw that recent one, which was Jack. He's 24 and he was surfing down at Margaret River at boat ramps.
He's an absolute gun surfer too, everyone.
Yeah.
Gun.
So Jack has talked about how he escaped from the jaws of death.
Yeah.
And look, I think that Jack looks like a very trustworthy young man, and personally, I don't think he would tell a lie. But let me just go into...
Would he add some GST?
Let's just go into how he saved his own life. He said that he ended up having to wrestle the shark in the ocean.
Wrestle?
Yes. He says, I end up getting up on its back and hitting it in the back of the head. It was so close, so it was either swim away or let it do its thing. I thought I'd rip its nose back and get on its back, though, and then thought, no, I'm not putting my hand anywhere near its mouth. But he just, smashed it.
You had the mouse whilst getting attacked. We've seen the vision on the news because they had the surf cam looking over Narrabeen at the time.
Yes, and you can see, all you can see is a little bit of a splashing and his board kind of goes up a bit, doesn't it?
Ever since Mick Fanning punched that shark...
Now it's Shark WrestleMania.
and I'm not saying that Jack is lying, but I sometimes just doubt some of the I smashed a shark's head in stories, and that's how I got away.
Like jumping on its back is very specific, isn't it?
I know, and also
just ripping its nose, and the shark was like, "Oh, stop!" and it's got its fins up. No,
they're very at home in the water. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're in their water. We don't have gills, we don't have fins.
They know how to move around in the water. We're kind of just flailing around.
But now, if anyone's been involved in a shark bite or whatever, and then they come out the back and people go, oh, what happened? You go, oh, mate, I smashed it. It was crap in its dad.
Yeah.
This shark was like, no!
Stop hitting me.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, we see it all the time. I feel for... he just explained it too much. Like, I can understand that a shark's gone and he's might have...
Yeah, mate, I fought for my life. Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Not I jumped on its back and punched it.
And, not to the point where the shark's going, no more, no more.
The shark's tapping out.
I grabbed his tail and put it in a figure four. I go with the half Nelson of the Iron Sheik.
Sure, if you were to go out and do surfing, you would go out and surf today and you got a little bit of a nibble on your leg and no one was around watching, what would you say? Would you say the shark let go or would you say you smashed its head until it said stop?
Oh, yeah, no, I choked it out. Definitely.
I choked it out.
I went up.
I just king hit it and it hit the deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember how to survive
anyway, I'm not saying that Jack is lying. You probably did smash its head in, but...
but also, probably not.
I don't know.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.